Hey everyone, welcome back to Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This podcast is all about farmers markets, how to increase your market business success, and in our current climate, maximize safety while providing people with fresh food. Farmers markets are essential. Whether you're a farmers market manager or a small farmer or food maker selling at farmers markets, you have found just the right podcast. On today's episode of Tent Talk, we're talking with Maya Madsen of Maya's Cookies, vegan cookie mogul and official sometimes co-host of Tent Talk about managing multiple sales outlets, among other topics. Hey everyone, I'm one of your hosts, Bridget Myers. I've spent years as an on-site farmers market manager, and I'm the education coordinator at Farmers Market Pros.
And I'm Kat Fields-White, director of San Diego Markets, still an every week farmers market manager, founder of Farmers Market Pros, and host of the Farmers Market Pros community and Intense, the Farmers Market Conference.
And I'm co-host Justine Marzoni-Mead, Tent Talk producer, marketing director for Farmers Market Pros, and now logistics coordinator for Intense, the Farmers Market Conference 2021, which is coming up. It will be live online February 15th through 18th. And if you want to register today, please use the code TALK21 at checkout, and you'll get a little discount for being our listener.
That's right.
We love you so much.
You early birds.
Special.
People who still believe they can plan ahead.
Yeah.
We want to reward you for that.
That's right.
Go ahead. Plan ahead. Manifest. Well, welcome back to Tent Talk, everybody. Today we are chatting with Maya Madsen, our dear friend and founder of Maya's Cookies, the #1 Black-owned vegan cookie company in the U.S., Vendor 101 graduate, whoop whoop, farmers market vendor extraordinaire, online cookie mogul, and now retail cookie shop owner. And yet, she still has time for us. How special. Welcome, Maya.
Thanks, guys. I always have time for San Diego markets and Vendor 101 and Tent Talk and everything else. I love you guys.
We love it. You're just part of our Tent Talk family now.
That's right.
No matter how busy you are. Well, congratulations on the new retail shop. So I think when this airs, so today it's about to open. When this airs, it's going to already be open. So I'm sure it's going well. But I guess you just figured you didn't have enough to do with farmers markets. You just didn't have enough on your schedule. So were you bored because you'd figured it all out? Or what made you decide to open that storefront?
Well, great question. We have a production facility in central San Diego, or Grantville. I don't know if that's considered central. And we sell our cookies at the farmers markets, and we produce for our online sales here and ship it next door in our warehouse. And every day we get people stopping in wanting to purchase cookies from us, and we have to turn them away and say, we're an online retailer. You can find us at the farmers markets. And it was just getting to a point where we were turning away so many customers that I thought maybe people would support a retail shop. You know, I like to operate lean, so I didn't think I didn't want to carry the cost of a retail storefront. And on the weekends, we would get people from out of town stopping by just to come to Maya's Cookies because they saw us on the interwebs. And I finally realized that maybe it's time. I made sure we had all the proper permits, and lo and behold, since I'm over permitted, I had every permit possible, every food permit possible. And we turned our front lobby space into a retail little space. So it's about the size of a farmer's market tent. It's about 10 by 12.
Look at the great experience you've had operating a small retail outlet.
Right, exactly. And, you know, we made it look cute, and voila, here we are. I figure we're already baking all day long, so we might as well sell them while we're baking them too.
Yeah, I'm sure people that were stopping by were like, I know you have cookies in there.
I can smell them. I can smell them baking.
Did you ever think in a million years that you would open a retail spot? Like, was this ever on your trajectory or like list of things that you wanted? Or is this purely just a respond to the moment that we're in?
I think it's 90% a response, and 10% I never want to say no to any opportunity, because when I started this business with you guys with Vendor 101, I had all these different little bubbles of where I could go with it. And I didn't know, I come from fitness. I didn't understand the food and the retail and whatnot. So I wasn't sure what direction I was going to go. I was going to let it organically lead me to where I should be. And here we are.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you're turning people away,
Yeah.
May as well sell them cookies, right?
Might as well sell them cookies.
Right. And they could smell the cookies. They could see through the window racks of, hundreds of cookies drying, and we have to turn them on.
Well, we have a few vendors that have Prager Brothers bread,
Seven Seas.
Seven Seas. Seven Seas has really nice, fancy retail locations. But some of our guys, Happy Pantry, they're in kind of industrial parks. So what kind of location are you in, Maya?
An industrial park.
You are, yeah. But some of them have been really successful with that.
Yeah.
And I think they started out thinking just that, they kind of make sandwiches, or people who had businesses in the industrial park would stop by. But it turned out it's become quite the destination for some of our vendors.
Yeah, that's like where Dale Ranch is like in this
Dale
back
Ranch.
corner of an industrial park. I know they were just using it as kind of a hub, and then now they have that full frontal, very tiny retail storefront, because you can operate in a tiny space if you have that farmer's market booth experience. And it's been great. People, I drive there. I'll drive down this windy warehouse road to go pick stuff up. So, I feel like it's great because then you can also be doing stuff in the back. You don't just have an employee like sitting there twiddling their thumbs and not being able to do anything. You have, process going on in the background. So
Absolutely. And we're right across the street from post office. So we get traffic from the post office. And there's a humongous preschool down the street they have to drive by. So at the North Park Market, you guys put my booth in front of a preschool. So every day at 2 when the preschool got out, all of the kids threw a tantrum. And cookie, it was awesome.
that was intentional.
The moms love and hate you.
Yes.
That's right. Good strategy. She knows her market. She knows her demographic. It's those folks under 2 feet tall.
That's right. They have a lot of pull at the farm. I'll tell you what, when I take my kids to the farmer's market, I'll just get them whatever they want so that they'll be quiet so I can keep shopping.
That works like a charm.
Yeah, it's great. So what are the hours going to be of the new shop?
Our hours will be Wednesday through Sunday, 10 to 3.
Oh, great. Okay. And then what markets are you doing right now? On what days? Just the weekends?
Just weekends, Little Italy Saturday and Hillcrest on Sundays.
Okay, yeah. Great.
And so you think you'll keep doing that? We're always suspicious when people open retail shops, although I will say that a retail built into your production facility is a little bit different because you've got more flexibility with your staff and things. But we're always kind of holding our breath when we have a vendor that opens a retail store, because no matter how much they say, I would never leave the farmers markets, it'll be a great add-on to the retail store, and it'll be good marketing in addition to being an income stream, and I would never leave the markets. And then pretty much, I'd say 7 out of 10 times somebody calls in sick, and they're not going to close the shop, so they don't go to the market, and that happens a few times, and pretty soon we see them fade out. We have had some vendors that have opened retail stores and stayed with us for years afterwards, going strong. Folks at Seven Seas are like that. There's a number of others, but we've also seen some where the retail has just kind of consumed them, and they just can't push out to the markets anymore. Are you planning to stay in markets?
Are you going to abandon us? This is what we're asking.
I would like to address
that. Are you
going
to leave us? That's what we're asking.
We're recording you, so whatever you say
we did that with Eric.
Be held against you.
Right?
This is a binding contract.
So, my whole thing is being face to face with my customers. So not everyone's going to be able to get to the retail spot in those limited hours. The farmers markets, those are tourist attractions too. So people go there. So I love being in the farmers market. I love being able to reach the community. And to me, the farmers market are just separate locations. This is Little Lily's location 1, Hillcrest is location 2, and then our flagship little production shop is location 3. So that's how I'm visualizing it in my mind. Those are, I'll just throw out Rubio's, for instance. There's the Rubio's, their shop on Mission Boulevard, I guess, their flagship shop, and it's teeny tiny and it's old school. It's been there forever. And then they branched out and they have other locations. So being at the farmer's market is my version of branching out and staying lean, operating lean, without incurring all the costs. Yeah,
just built into the part of the business.
And if I leave, Kat, so let's put a little wager on this. How about a $50 bill?
Okay. All right. I don't know. I have a hard time betting against you because I think you're pretty organized. I'm pretty sure you have it figured out. But really, what kind of triage plan do you have when Kamala Harris decides to order cookies to be shipped to every voter, and the shop is open, and the market's scheduled, and someone calls out sick? Who goes where? What goes to the top?
First.
Okay, good question. So here's how Maya's Cookie operates. We have our farmers market sales staff We have 2 permanent salespeople, and we have their backup substitutes. Then I have my storefront staff, and I also have my production staff. So everyone's separate. They're separate departments. So it's not just me. So I literally have a production crew of 4 people. I have office staff managing all of our online orders and customer service, and marketing, that's 3 people. I have my warehouse manager, and he has a little army of 4 part-timers, and then we're bringing in our seasonal workers. So I have it all divided up. So everyone minds their own department and their own business. And everyone that works for me has pretty much worked in every department. Everyone that is here has worked at farmers markets. My warehouse manager started as our Friday dishwasher back when I was producing out of the sauerkraut factory kitchen. So he moved on to the farmers markets. He was an excellent salesperson. Then he moved back into production to help me produce. Turns out he's a master with machinery. So when I had to scale up and upgrade, he was like a kid in a candy store when we got all the new machinery, and he understands it. It just looks like algebra to me, but he knows how to work everything, and it gets him excited. So he manages our machines, and when something breaks down, he knows how to fix it. And he is just a great organizer. So just to give you an idea of how I move people throughout my business. And it helps me as a business owner because they understand my vision because they've been in every department. He understands how the production works. He understands how the sales side works at the markets. He understands how the warehousing and shipment works. So it's kind of nice. And that's almost everybody except for one person that works here has worked everywhere for me.
How many employees do you have total now?
Well, let me add that up.
Calculator.
So we have our 3 office. We have the warehouse manager and assistant manager, and then 2 employees under them. We have our 4 market staff and 2 people that work in the storefront. And did I already count the production crew? Oh my gosh, I have a lot.
You do have a lot.
15 to 20 sounds
I have about
like
50. Yeah.
And that has grown so much just since the last time we talked to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge.
It really has.
I mean, so that's a big challenge. That's something that, and it's usually when you're hiring your first few. I mean, I'm guessing you probably have this mostly figured out by now, by the time you get to your size, but that's a big challenge for people, farmers market vendors and farmers, and even market managers, when you have to hire your first few people, and hiring is not as obvious as it looks. It's not like, oh, okay, now you're with me and I'm just going to give you this check. Do you, at this point, with that many employees, do you have an HR person?
Yes, we have a general manager who handles all of our HR. We have employee handbooks written by an attorney, an employment attorney. So, I'm a rule follower and detail person, and I wanted to make sure if I'm going to be responsible for other people's lives that we do it the right way, and it's, I'm covered, and we have clear rules and understanding so that there's no mix-ups. So yes, Kat.
That's great. That's good.
She's listened to all the podcasts, I guess.
Good job. Yeah. You heard the horror stories. The podcast and the horror stories. Yeah. Convinced.
You learned.
So last time we talked to you, you'd just gotten a huge surge of business because you'd been included in some lists of Black-owned businesses. Was that the late spring, early summer?
That was in June.
That was in June, yeah. So how much of that momentum has continued?
Well, the momentum has continued, but not to that extent. So part of what I did with the revenue that was generated during that spike was invest in a marketing plan for us. So, we could ride the wave and get out there. And we just really have been working hard on that, trying to make sure that we're partnering with other businesses that have visions, same as ours. And, we're a vegan company and we're Black owned. So we're really trying to find other companies that have the same values that mirror ours and trying to partner with them. And some have said no, some have said yes. And the ones that have said yes have been excellent and have helped us grow. You may have seen on social media, we've done a lot of partnerships and giveaways, and that was part of our marketing, just trying to get out there. So to answer your question in short form, no, it's not the same as it was in June, but it is enough to where I had to hire up to 15 employees and I still don't take any days off. And I try to get home by 6, but my day starts at 4:35. So it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. I'm exhausted, but I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and things are still happening for you. Like, you're on a lot of lists. There was a great article that just came out locally about your business. And then it said you were named the top Black-owned vegan cookie company in the U.S. So I don't know where. And there's still a lot of those kinds of accolades and articles coming out. Have you been doing other interviews for other things that are coming? Or how do those kind of come about?
They contact us, and they call us. So one of my goals when I first started was to work with Kitchens for Good. So 5 years ago, I remember Celeste from Celeste Sweet or Relish. She was doing some work with Kitchens for Good. And so I looked them up and saw what they were all about and said, oh my goodness, I want to get to a point where I can work with them too. I love everything it's about, giving back to the community, helping people, giving them a second chance. So I got to that point where I reached out to them and said, I need staff. And my production crew is from Kitchens for Good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, and because of that, Kitchens for Good invited us to be on their 5th anniversary. They had a Zoom meeting, or not meeting, but it was a big anniversary party via Zoom. And we did a cooking demo of a vegan soup, and they produced the soup and sent it out to all the people that bought their 5th anniversary package. And apparently there were journalists and other people on that Zoom. I had no idea. We were just hamming it up. We couldn't see who was on. And from that, we got a lot of press, and they contacted us, and it's just snowballed from there. But I told my staff, this is what happens when you give back. You're not greedy. You take what you need, you help others, and you give back. So that's kind of my philosophy and the way that I run my business. And I feel like the community's giving back to me now by lifting me up that way.
Yeah. I think that has always been something that we've kind of communicated to vendors is like, say yes to all the opportunities, like wake up and do those really early TV calls that we get at the market. We always tell the vendors, like, just show up, say yes, and then do the, charity give back events and things that are happening, because you never know who's going to be there. I mean, it's a great thing to do for the community too. And it's just, that's how you really get picked up and get a little bit more known, in the community and outward as well, as you've gotten national press and things like that. So I think that's, you have a great philosophy like that. We try to communicate that to our vendors.
Piggyback on that, you're absolutely right. I say yes to everything. So Kat said yes today. And that's
right.
That exact reason I learned from that a while ago that, those opportunities might not ever come back. You say no to someone, you never know. So I say yes to everything. And look where it's gotten me. I have a retail store. I've been balling on a budget. I don't spend big dollars. Yeah. So I organically said yes whenever anyone has ever asked me for a donation, even when I was just starting out and didn't know if I can give them one. I always said yes, because so many people have helped me in my life, giving a helping hand, maybe even people that didn't necessarily want to. So I like to give back, and it's paid off because people remember that. And it's a sincere gesture. It's not me going, oh, I'm going to do this because it might get me something else. It's more, I look at it deeper, like this, I have something that could help them. So, and I have excess of it. So, and I have time, let me give back. And it's just snowballed from there.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of turns into a circle where like you're giving and getting, and everyone else is kind of giving and getting. And it's just kind of, can go on forever that way. I mean, you've been in business, you're really successful, you're still doing charity stuff, and then you're still getting additional press out of that because of that. So I think that's a good thing to remember, especially in the farmers market business, because we get a lot of opportunities, and sometimes it feels like too much, or small businesses, or just markets that are just getting started. But if you just say yes to that stuff, it, usually always comes back around too. So it's...
And oftentimes you say yes and you're like, okay, that was kind of a dumb thing. But like, even if you just participate, usually it's not a huge ask, just like, yeah, sure.
A little donation.
A dozen cookies or a little donation, and it's, it's worth it to participate. And sometimes it's not a big return, but it's just a nice thing to do.
Putting it out there. And you never know.
Put your big girl pants on and get it done.
That's right. That's our motto, right?
That's right. Bridget talks about that all the time. When we're at the market and we're having, sometimes we have wonderful days where everybody's really cooperative. And then sometimes in this day and age, we have those kind of days when it seems like everybody's got a beef about wearing a mask or having to wait in line or any of the things that we do to cooperate with COVID. And Bridget she says, I just want to tell them, put on your big girl panties, like Maya would say, and just deal with it. And we're going to do that here too on our team.
I love that line ended up in the Union Tribune article too.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it did.
Awesome.
I was like, I say that all the time. Actually, Peter read that and he was like, you say that. I'm like, my husband.
That's where I got it.
Yeah. I was like, see?
Got it from Maya.
It works.
Sure.
I tell my husband all the time, I go, put on your big girl panties, okay?
Just keep it going.
In a minute.
Well, it's great that you're still getting so much coverage and so much press. Mm-hmm. We were just having a conversation about remembering that it has to be a movement, not a moment. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the whole being on lists of Black-owned businesses and things, this has been an ongoing problem since our country began. Mm-hmm. Our system was designed not to work fairly. And for various reasons, partly because all of us have video cameras in our pockets now, and because some people are brave enough to keep filming when terrible things are happening, awareness kind of reached a peak over the summer, but it seems like it's slid back down a bit. And I think we need to be careful not to slide back down into complacency. And no matter who's in office, we need to keep working, even in between tragedies. We need to not rely on tragedy to bring it to our attention. So we all need to keep doing the work to help provide opportunities for Black business owners to access resources and capital. And we need to make a conscious effort to diversify our vendors at our farmers markets. This is a farmers market podcast. So notice how I wound back to that. So that's important. So on the business side, do you expect that people will still have buying from Black businesses as something they pay attention to when it comes to holiday shopping this year? And do you think it's something that, people are still talking about, understanding that the election has sort of wiped out our brains for every other topic, but do you think that that's something that we can do? Do you have a recommendation on things that we can do to make sure that that remains a movement, that we keep making progress forward?
Yes, absolutely. Keep talking about it. Just keep it in the conversation. And yes, of course, there are going to be people who did it in June because it was just the thing to do. They were reacting. But I hope that it opens people's minds and they are looking more deeply into the whole movement and understanding what generations of people have had to endure and go through. I'm the epitome of someone who probably should have been in prison, just the way that I was raised. Most of the people I grew up with are dead or in prison, but I witnessed a lot of bad stuff with the police and with other people growing up. I've seen a lot of things that a young child probably should not have seen. So I've known about, I've been woke because I'm a Black woman. I've witnessed all this stuff, but it's, people up until now, people don't want to hear it. Or they just thought it couldn't be possible. And I think that we have to keep talking about racism and these things because it's there and it's happening. And I knew about, just all of this for years. And when there was a point where one of, my kids was being called the N-word in his middle school, and he was the only Black kid in the school. So of course I went and raised high holy hell. And I remember when I talked to the principal, she was shocked that I was bringing this up. And she said, these kinds of things still go on. And I was like, woman, are you crazy?
Wow.
So to me, I said, people lose their jobs over, using that word. Can you please take this serious? That's why I'm here. You've never seen me raise my voice, use a swear word, or come storming into a principal's office, but here I am. I'm just as shocked as you are. So, without going off topic, it, just made me realize that people they don't know what's going on within the Black community. We know because we live it. And we just have to, keep talking about it and keep supporting these Black businesses, keep helping with resources. If you have, resources, don't just share within your circle, share with, maybe find an organization that helps underprivileged communities and reach out to them and say, hey, here's some resources. I think, I just found out about this great opportunity. If you want to share with some of the community, or just being more proactive, I guess would help. I think that there is going to be a push during the holiday season because we receive messages on our online orders all the time saying, we're happy to help, with Black Lives Matter or just things like that. So we see it on those online orders from across the country. But locally, I think we should put a list together of Shop Black Friday Black-owned businesses and get that circulating. Because we know of them now, but there's plenty more maybe we haven't heard of. So I guess that's my rambling answer.
That was just kind of rambling question too. But yeah, so I think that once we get through all the election slog, and a little reminder to our listeners, we're actually recording this before we know who's president. Hopefully we'll know by the time you listen to it. Here's hoping. But once we move on to the next step of that, I'm just hoping to see a resurgence of where we were in June, where everybody seemed to really understand that we needed to make changes, and we've gotten distracted, and maybe we've gotten complacent, those of us who aren't living it front and center every single day. But we need to make sure it doesn't go away, that we stay conscious and we keep making moves to make changes. Yeah. So if we all do that and it works, what's your plan for the next time you wake up to thousands of cookie orders in the queue? Do you have an option of additional space? Do you have a spare deck oven in your garage? What's your plan?
Ready.
My plan now, we actually do have an emergency plan for if we get inundated with X amount of orders. So I have it all organized already.
Of course.
And yeah, we had a meeting before the holiday season, and I had it all charted out down to how many cookies per minute can be sealed, how many, people can do this, can do that. So I have it all organized, and we have the equipment, we have the staff, we have the space. I have all of that now, and I'm ready. So send those big orders my way.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Maya, I saw that you are now doing a cookie subscription. Is that right?
I sure am.
How does that work? And maybe that's a way also for people that were really into supporting you in June can just be all right, I'm just going to sign up for the subscription. For
yeah, good idea. I don't even have to think about it. I'm just going to support automatically.
So can you share how that works and how that works on the back end of production, how you set that up?
Yeah, absolutely. So that cookie subscription was due to customer requests over the past couple years, customer feedback. And I love it. It's amazing. So what we do is we have a special colored box that our cookie subscribers get. So it's a special Maya's Cookies blue box. And we have, they get 6 cookies. 2 of those cookies are exclusive Cookie Love Club member flavors only. So they're off menu. And they get a piece of merch in their subscription each month as well. And we run our website through Shopify. And Shopify, I had to upgrade my website to a different monthly plan that could support a subscription service. And you just add on an app that handles subscriptions. I had to learn all this stuff. I just had a basic Shopify app, and now I have a subscription on my app. So
you and Justine, the learners of 2020.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So we added the subscription app onto our website. And basically, we sell the subscription ongoing. We ship it out once a month, and we do a little marketing around it to let people know what's coming. We've only marketed our cookie subscription through email marketing, which was something that was also new to me. But basically, with our new upgraded Shopify website, we can also send out mass emails to our customers. And every time we do that, we see an uptick in sales. I never knew how beneficial that was. I always thought it was just, nonsense sending out emails, but it really does work. Every time we send out those emails, we get a huge uptick. So yeah, we basically advertised it. It makes a great gift. We advertised it through email. It makes a great gift. And it's fun cookies make people happy. So it's fun to get a surprise box that's still a beautiful box, but it's a special color. It's not our pink box, and you get to see what special cookies are in it that are off menu and what merch. So we invested in a few different items for merch, and it's so fun when we get our merch in and we see what's going to be in this month's subscription box. And my Wi-Fi just said it was unstable, so I don't know if you guys caught any of that.
Yeah,
we caught most of it. I think. Yeah,
you got a little choppy, but we heard what you're saying.
Yeah, we'll recap that. subscription people get a blue box instead of a pink box. So it's special. That sounds like such a perfect holiday gift.
Yeah. Sign somebody up for just like a year subscription of cookies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and as farmers market vendors are looking to try to do something like new and cool for the holidays, if they're missing out on like big holiday events that they usually participate in, or if the markets that they're in usually get really packed for the holidays and might not see the same foot traffic this year, getting creative and thinking outside the box, pun intended.
Or inside the box.
Or inside the box.
Inside the cookie box.
That's really a clever thing to do. So setting something up like that for other vendors that, are looking for cool ideas, I really like that idea. Because that's something, like a subscription is something that would make a really unique gift. A really unique, like, local gift. If I'm trying to give something like very close to where I live, that's a very San Diego thing to send them Maya's cookies, So.
And I think that's also kind of a trend that I've seen in direct to consumer brands that, like, I just signed up for like a shampoo subscriptions because I'm always like forgetting to like go do that, and I found one I like, so it just sends it to me every couple of months, and it's a great way to keep those customers that love you coming back, because I think a lot of times people don't mean to stop buying from you. It just slips their mind. And if they were like, they can just sign up and they don't have to think about it. And then they can be so excited when they come home and see that special FedEx box waiting outside their door.
It's all about the subscriptions. I love that idea. Yeah.
I did designate one staff member. I handpicked one of our warehouse staff members, and I said, this is your only job on subscription day. You're the only one that's going to be managing these. I want them to be beautiful. I want them to be perfect, and you can't miss any details. So I'm hand selecting you to do that job. You are our monthly subscription handler.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a cool job. And then, if something goes wrong, she'll know it, she'll know who to go back to.
That's right. Oh, what a good idea, though. Because I would imagine she gets to know the names that she's sending it out to each month.
Yeah, that's special.
People have feedback. Yeah, I think I should get my husband one of those subscriptions, actually, because every day at the market he's like, "Did you bring me Maya's cookies?" I'm like, I didn't remember till the very end of the day.
They're all gone.
They had one cookie left.
Would it be a subscription that was like mailed to his car, so you and the kids didn't need it before you got to him?
Yeah, it's COVID tent. He has
quarantine tent.
My husband's quarantine tent in the back. I can just like shoo some cookies back there.
There you go. That's good.
That's funny.
Good idea.
Well, this is a great conversation to remember, I think, especially for farmers market managers as we're going into holiday season, keeping in mind that we should be keeping the Black Lives Matter movement in mind when we're putting together like recommended gift lists for our shoppers. I mean, we just got a review recently. We've been getting them a lot, just over the past 6 months. A review that was like, wow, I was really surprised how many Black-owned businesses are at the farmers market. And there's like a good handful at our farmers market, but they really recognized that and they were excited about it. So it's that kind of signals to me like we can really put that information out there and make it easy for people who are looking for Black-owned businesses to purchase holiday gifts from this year. Mm-hmm. Give your customers that information. Don't make them go search around for it. Just say, hey, we have these vendors at the market. This is what they're offering. These are their great gift items that they have. So market managers can kind of remember that when they're putting together all sorts of gift lists that we always do for the holidays. So
I think that was a great idea.
Yeah.
For kids give like Black-owned businesses at the farmers market. I think that would be amazing. When I have customers come by, they will tell me I came here specifically when I found out you're a Black-owned business back when I started back at the farmers market. So I think customers would really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think they'd like it. We can include it in email newsletters. I'm just the biggest fan. I think we always say concentrate on your email list versus your social media following, because social media is building your house on somebody else's land. Email, you own those names and you own those customers, and you can control how often you communicate and that it gets to them. Okay. Google algorithms. I guess you don't truly own them, but still closer to being in control.
A little bit. Yeah. So great. So many great tips from Maya and news. There's always something new going on.
I know she's like our case study of 2020, where we just keep checking in.
Saying, what's happening?
And now what's new? And now what's new?
And how to manage it, because you're such a good manager.
What's that, Kat?
You're just such a good manager too. So you've been a good case study at how to manage the shifting tides that have been 2020. Mm-hmm. So what are you looking forward to in 2021?
In 2021, I feel like I'm just on a runaway train. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think that's how we're all feeling. Planning is so
feeling.
hard. But I know you have steps in mind towards world cookie domination.
You remember the very first podcast I did with you guys, and I remember I mentioned that other people might see me as just a small farmer's market booth, but in my mind, I feel like I want to be the Qualcomm of the vegan cookie world.
I always remember that line, but see, I've changed now. I don't even ask you what you're doing to be the Qualcomm, because you are far beyond Qualcomm. You are planetary domination of the cookie
You
field.
manifested it.
I am a student in life and business, so I always look to other businesses, their failures and their successes, and I study what they did, and I have mentor businesses that don't know that they're my mentor. I call it local businesses, and I really try to study them and watch them and get to know what they're doing that's successful and what they're doing that's, taking them down, and that's how I learn. And I also learn from you guys managing your markets and just the people around me who run successful businesses. I didn't go to college to study business, so I'm a student of life.
Best kind of education.
Well, it's working.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have mentees?
I do have mentees. I think I mentioned at the last time I was a guest on the podcast that in August I started a Black business little roundtable group, and predominantly vegan. I do have a few mentees, and they come to me, and it's funny because I can't believe that I'm a mentor to someone, but I realize that I have information that they don't have or don't know who to turn to ask, so I happily give it out. And I have been helping a couple of businesses. They'll come to me, and just the paperwork side of it, things like that, or I just took a phone call. Someone reached out who's not in my roundtable group. They reached out over social media, and my social media manager gave me their info, and I called them, and they said, "Oh, I didn't expect you to call me so soon. It was, 7. I apologized. It was 7:30 at night." And I said, "I just got home, and sorry it was so late." And they were shocked that I even called, so they had to scramble and get their questions together. And they said, "Hold on." And we talked for an hour, and they were basically asking me all the questions and things that probably people ask you all the time, that hence Vendor 101. I did steer them to Vendor 101, but we answered.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't be taking over our roundhouse here.
It's like it's not Vendor 102.
I answered their questions as best I could, but I did steer them to you. And I do steer vendors to you guys all the time, so I hope that they're signing up and going. But I'm telling you, that class was the best thing that could have happened for me. So I was spinning around in circles and didn't know who to call. I didn't know any other vendors that looked like me. I didn't know any vendors, period. So to answer your question, I do have some mentees, and I'm happy to be here to help them.
That's good.
It's awesome.
I'd love to have Maya as a mentor. If I was a food business.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too, to find other businesses that are doing something right and have been through kind of some trials to kind of figure it out, and just, that's what the farmers market's all about, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're there, to communicate and be with our like-minded folks. So
2021, we're expecting to see Maya on the cover of Oprah.
Well, Infinity.
Well, not the cover.
maybe.
Would that be amazing? No, this is their last issue, the December issue.
Oh, it is?
Oh, ever?
Oh, I didn't know that.
No.
Oh,
Wah, wah.
She'll do
Save
something
the
else.
Magazines, yeah. One day. All right. Well, any other pressing
anything
questions?
else we
I
need
feel
to
like
know? What else is coming that we should watch for? Is there anything else we missed asking you?
Well, we have the subscription coming up. I'm looking forward to this year ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'm just plugging away on this runaway train called 2020 and trying to see, what happens next. I don't know what to expect for 2021, but whatever comes my way, I'll put my big girl pants on.
That's
with
right.
And deal
That's
with
right.
it. 2021 vision. Here we go.
We need pins that's put your big girl pants on.
Yeah.
Add that to our swag box for the
That's right.
conference.
Get
right?
some merch for the subscription. Here's your cookies and put your big girl pants on.
I am looking forward to that in 2021. I'm looking to our virtual. Is
That's
everything
right.
Virtual or
Live online.
Live online.
It's the middle of February, and at one point we thought, well, we'll do it live online, and then we'll encourage people regionally to kind of have gatherings and put it on the Jumbotron and watch it together. But we'll see how February is. February is not very far away, and we suspect that we will still all be distancing, and you can watch it at home in your jammies.
Be in our homes.
I am looking forward to the Intense Conference in 2021, so how about that?
Awesome. There we go. There's something to look forward to. There you go, everybody. Something to look forward to in the new year.
2020 will be better.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Maya. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, and we're so excited for the new shop and all the awesome things that are happening. And congrats.
I'll see you at the market.
I'll see you at the market in the pitch black while your husband sets the tent up.
You know what? My husband is amazing, and he does that so I can sleep in an extra half hour on Saturday morning.
Oh, man.
You know what?
Half hour on Saturday mornings makes such a huge difference.
I just figured every time I see him, because usually it's just like him and I and like one other vendor out there, because he's so early, of course, because Maya's trained him, I'm sure. Out there in the pitch black, it's like, good morning. And I just know that he's out there because, well, I didn't think you were sleeping, actually, but I thought you were like catching up on something. But he's
because
just so
he loves
sweet.
you.
Because he loves you. It's so
That's
nice.
right.
Yes.
Amazing.
Just out there chalking in the dark.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, we'll talk to you soon. And thanks again. And tune in to what Maya's doing next.
That's right. Yeah,
All right, Maya. We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye, you guys.
All right, bye. Farmers markets are all about community, and all of us, operators, farmers, and vendors, keep learning. We offer a variety of ways to do that. Learn what's happening at markets in other parts of the country and share what's happening in your area in terrific conversations over in our private Facebook group, the Farmers Market Pros Community. Find us there, answer the 3 qualifying questions, and join the group. If you're just getting ready to launch your farmers market business, increase your chances of success by taking Vendor 101, now online and available for aspiring vendors throughout the U.S. Find it at farmersmarketpros.com. Take advantage of our special discount code for podcast listeners, TALK21, and register now for Intense, the Farmers Market Conference at farmersmarketpros.com. Now's the time to get the earliest of early bird prices and reserve your place at this 4-day conference coming to you live online in February. Have a question? You can always message us on Instagram at Farmers Market Pros or email us at connect@farmersmarketpros.com. Thanks for listening to Tent Talk. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you access your podcasts, and tell us and others how you're enjoying Tent Talk. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss our next episode. Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, is proudly produced by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Today's episode was recorded and edited by Justine Marzoni-Mead. Original music by David Mead. Thank you so much for listening today, and we'll have another great episode for you next week. Tune in.